It's Kevin here, and today I'm going to be talking about how I was introduced to video games, how I use video games as a way to cope, and how video games completely drained my social life. At the end of the video, I'm going to be providing you with the same strategy that I used to overcome my 15-year video game addiction. I was introduced to video games when I was about 10 years old. It was 2002. At the time, Game Boys were the hottest portable handhelds around. And during that period, I was really into Pokemon. All the kids in my school played Pokemon at the local library in San Francisco, Chinatown. If you weren't playing Pokemon, you simply weren't cool. In middle school, I first walked into the computer lab and I saw a lot of kids playing video games on the PCs. Eventually, I became part of the group. I felt accepted into that type of gaming community. The very same year, I discovered online role playing games where you can interact with millions of people. And at the time, it was gaming on a whole new level. I continued to play various video games throughout high school. And what I noticed looking back is every time I was struggling in school, I played more video games. I used it as a coping mechanism. Whenever I had free time, I would play. Every time we had lunch, I would have lunch very quickly and then play. And in some cases, I would skip the eating part altogether. I think that's the main reason why I ended up failing during my last year of school, which I talk about in my introduction video. There's a link in the description below. Between 2012 and 2013, I went to UCSC for 2 quarters. This is something that I never really mentioned because my experience at UCSC was a repeat of that last year in high school. I did poorly in class, used video games to distract myself from my schoolwork, which then caused me to fail for the second time in a row. Well, fortunately, I did end up graduating at 2016 at SJ State. When I passively started applying for jobs, no one was calling me back. What did I do? Well, you guessed it. I started playing video games more than I had ever played in my entire life. Now that I had graduated, I played like a madman. 8 hours a day minimum. My family thought I was going crazy. The next month I stopped. I applied to 300 plus companies and got hired at 2 companies within the same week span. So, how did I quit? Well, here was my strategy. Aside from making a commitment to quit video games, which I've done thousands of times before, I figured that to quit video games for a while, I would have to play so much that I didn't want to play anymore. And at that point, when I didn't want to play anymore, I would force myself to continue playing. And that's exactly what I did. I repeated this for a month. I did not leave my room, I did not go out. I stayed home every day and played non-stop. I would get fatigued after 8 hours, naturally, but I would keep playing until I had to go to sleep. 2 weeks in, I didn't want to play anymore. So what I did was I forced myself to continue playing for 2 more weeks. Now, part one was complete. Part two of my strategy was not to play any games for 30 days consecutively. The reason why I picked 30 days is that's the average of how long it takes to change a habit. 3 days went by with no effort at all. After a week, I felt small urges to play, but due to the overplaying from the weeks before, I was able to hold back without too much effort. 2 weeks passed and I didn't notice. A month flew by and I didn't even flinch. I verbally announced my success with my close friend, Ryan. As of today, it would have passed 3 years since I last played any type of game, and I've never looked back. I can't guarantee that this strategy will work for you, but it did for me. And if you tried everything that you've known how to quit games, try my strategy, which I don't think anyone has used. If you watch my introduction video, I talk about all the great things that I was able to accomplish after quitting video games. My addiction took a lot of time away from my childhood. If I had to guess, probably 10,000 hours worth over the decades. The last, or the thing that I regret the most, is not spending time socializing in school because I chose video games instead, and that has impacted my life greatly, as you will see in my future videos. It's Kevin here, and an ex-gaming addict. Hopefully this video helps you overcome your gaming addiction. If anyone actually tries my strategy, please let me know if it worked for you. Again, I'm not guaranteeing that it will work for everyone, but it did for me. If you tried everything else, it may be worth giving it a shot. Otherwise, leave a comment below about your video game addiction. I may be making some videos in the future on how to overcome other forms of addiction as well. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for future self-improvement videos.